On today's show, PJ Washington is becoming the leader the Dallas Mavericks need in this moment right now.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Dog, on 5.
Explain yourself.
All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
You are Locked On Mavs. Great, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome, you are Locked On to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for being here every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Joining me, as always, the Postgame prodigy from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
7 down, 75 to go.
Is that where we're at now? We're counting down?
No, not yet.
Today's episode, we'll talk about the Mavs near win over the Rockets, but did end up being a defeat. Not what I thought at all in this game. And I tried to reverse jinx it all day on Twitter. We'll talk about Daniel Gafford and his toughness in his return. I thought just absolutely gutted it out in this one. We'll talk about Cooper Flagg. Really quiet second half. Are we concerned about it still? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Max Christie. I thought had another really good solid game. Well, let's start here, Slightly Biased. PJ Washington is becoming the leader that the Dallas Mavericks need because right now, the Mavs are in like another crisis. I know we do this all the time. I know it feels like the last 9-10 months has just been crisis after crisis after crisis for this Mavericks team. And even before then, remember on Christmas Day when you and I were doing the show and Luka got hurt on Christmas Day? Like it was just, it was a good crisis back then too. The Mavs have been going through it, and the Mavs need somebody on the court, I think, to step up in this moment. Anthony Davis is out because of injury. Dereck Lively is out because of injury. Kyrie, the actual leader of the team, is out because of injury, and he's going to be out until maybe December, but probably more so like February or March. We'll see what happens with him. But PJ Washington, I think, is the guy that is stepping up to help guide and navigate this Mavs team through this moment. Because right now, going into the season, there are so many questions about this team. And if they could answer some of them, they could be a solid team. But they're not answering the offensive question very well. The offense has been terrible. They're trying this new system, and it's not working out for them, or at least they're not getting it right now. The defense has been statistically better than it actually looks on the court and actually has been in practice to me, it seems like. And Cooper Flagg has had some up and down moments. There's just so many questions and holes, and they're not playing a point guard to start games. Like that is a baffling decision from Jason Kidd still. There's so many just different decisions and different weird things happening right now that the Mavs need somebody to come out and let's just keep playing hard. Let's just keep playing hard on the court and play like we did at the end of last season when we had a bunch of questions about that team too. Because you and I sat here on every single post game and watched this team play and compete really hard, even though they had all these questions. Did the fans even care about them the rest of that season? All that. And I thought PJ embodied what that team embodied at the end of last season, where he fought hard, 29 points, 12 boards, 11 of 20 from the field, and was John at KD, was just like the guy that the Mavs needed in really key spots in this game where they should have been blown out. I mean, you and I were talking before the game, like, is it going to be 20 or 30? Honestly, that's what I said to you, because I'm looking at a team that just had no business matching up against this Rockets team.
Yeah, I mean, PJ has been fantastic so far to start this year. He's been the team's best player. I mean, there's no really debating that. Like, that's just the reality. And yeah, I mean, his leap that he's taken, I think, is very real. And, it's something that the team has desperately needed, just some toughness and some energy. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good team. I would say you could probably throw any hopes that this team could turn into something out the window. I've pretty much given up on that already. They're just so hurt already. I mean, it's just unbelievable what we're seeing, especially the strength of the team. The front court is already destroyed by injuries. And
have I told you my third side of the ball thing?
What's that?
The Mavs are struggling on three sides of the ball: the offense, the defense, and the medical side.
Yeah, I mean,
that is the third side now for the Mavs. It is part of the game.
I'd honestly say I don't really think they're struggling defensively. I really don't. I think they're fine there. Offensively, obviously, they're horrible. They're the worst in the league. And I think that bleeds into their defense a little too much. But yeah, I mean, I would say of your three bigs, it sucks to say like, well, it's okay if this guy gets hurt. But I'd say of your three bigs, if you were to say, hey, a few of these guys get injured here or there, but like I would say AD and Lively are the two that cannot be injured at the same exact time.
Yeah.
The moment that happens, you're in a rough spot.
Your identity is gone, or what you thought was going to be your identity.
Right, because Gafford's a great center in the league. Like he was really good tonight. Like he brought the energy. His size was desperately needed against this Rockets team. He gutted through what looked like injuries. Over the course of the game, got banged up and gutted it out and played over his minute restriction. So shout out to Gafford. But you're that elite rim protection with versatile, switchable, elite big defenders that are tenacious on the glass on both ends. You're missing both of those guys. So it just kind of sucks that this team doesn't have an identity because of it currently.
It doesn't. And so that's when PJ came swooping in and said, all right, I'm going to help this team become like what it could be tonight and compete in this. The Rockets went zone a lot in this game. PJ was breaking that zone. He was the guy in the first half. He was the one getting in the middle of the zone and hitting some floaters in that zone. And then
that's a carryover from last year. He was doing that last year too.
Absolutely. And I thought in the second half, he was doing it more with his passing in the middle of that zone too. And you just saw it on in multiple different ways, them attacking that Houston Rockets defense. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, there were stretches. I don't think they played terribly in this game. No. They're 2-5. So I don't know. There's no moral victories. We say this all the time. But no, they were competitive. I don't think they've been too terribly uncompetitive at times, even though their advanced numbers and stuff will show you that they're a bottom 4 team in the league. And who might argue that?
If you take the Wizards game out, then I feel like they've been competitive. The Wizards one broke me for a second.
The Spurs one too. If you take the first 2 nights out, there you go.
Well, the Spurs had a reason. The Wizards didn't have a reason.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You're still the only Wizards to loss, by the way. Our Wizards win, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. But yeah, I mean,
coming back up again.
Yeah, it's just what's funny is I watch this team and I do think there's like the bones of a good team. I actually do see it. I don't think it's a coincidence that their offense and their numbers and the on-off numbers, prove this, that they're just so much better when a guard plays, right? And D'Lo, for all of his faults, and he did have a couple of stupid plays and dumb shots down the stretch of this game. I don't think they're even in the game if D'Lo's not there, which is just crazy to say. Like the Mavs have put themselves in a position where it's like we have to live with the D'Lo bad plays. We simply have to, because we cannot survive if he's not out there at all. Like if Kyrie comes back and is 75% of his former self, I see it if at least 2 of your 3 bigs are healthy. The problem is if you're 15, 20 games under 500, it doesn't matter at all.
That is going to be the question. And in this game, I found myself going, man, PJ Washington really doing a great job leading this offense. If only they can get D'Angelo Russell and an 18-year-old to carry the offense the rest of the way, they could maybe pull out this game. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm holding my breath for D'Angelo Russell and an 18-year-old Cooper Flagg to help lead the Mavericks offense. Like you're just in a bad spot, which is why I actually take a moral victory from this game.
All right,
in a way, because like you're missing 2 all-stars. You're like Cooper Flagg didn't do a lot in the second half. Like I'm taking something away from this game that they fought, that PJ Washington showed something, that Gafford played well. You talked about the bones. They do have good players on this team. It's not like we're looking at a team that's completely inept of talent. We go, oh, these lineups, there's just nothing in there. It's not like we're looking at the lineups of the past where we go, oh my God, is this Frank Ntilikina, Dwight Powell? Like you just go down the roster and you're like, oh my God, there's not the Sterling Brown, Boban lineups where you're just like, what is happening with this team right now? It's not that. Like this is something different.
Yeah.
I think these pieces can be put back together. It just seems like Jason Kidd wants these pieces to go in a certain way, and he's just like forcing it into this one way right now. And he hopes at the other end it'll come out looking like the puzzle that he wants it to be. But right now it just looks like he's shoving a bunch of pieces into the wrong hole.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure we'll talk more about this in a second, but Coop did have a good first quarter. Maybe he's one of his best quarters offensively, but then very quiet the rest of the game. It does feel, we talked about this after the Wizards game, where it was like, it doesn't make sense to just go this route immediately with the Flagg guard. And on top of that, like, look at who's guarding him every game. It's Asar Thompson. It's Amin Thompson. It's Stephon Castle. Like, it's
Lou Dort.
Yes, it's like you. What are we even thinking here? And hey, some of those guys are wing defenders. Some of those guys, even if you start D'Lo, will probably pick him up. But you're just doing everything you can to make this kid's life as difficult as possible right out the gates. And man, I don't know if I fundamentally agree with the decision making on this end, and I think it's affecting him. I really do.
Absolutely. Coming up, what should the Mavericks have done to help Cooper Flagg in this game, particularly in the second half? We'll talk about that coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off your first purchase if you've never used Game Time before. And Game Time is there for NBA games because they have all kinds of different deals for NBA games. If you're looking to go see a Dallas Mavericks game, go check out Game Time and check it. Check it as the day goes on because the prices will go down, which is something that's awesome on Game Time. Also, you get the zone deals, which is an even bigger game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks your seats, and you save big. You can even find NBA tickets for under $25. In this economy, who knew? Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code. Again, Locked On NBA is the code LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code Locked On NBA. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Tell Isaac I nailed it this time.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every day. And we appreciate you for listening. On this post game, Mavs keep losing. Slightly and I are going to be here for all these post games. We'll keep following this team and covering it. We had a double whammy with you and the Cowboys today too.
Oh, that's just to be expected.
doesn't affect your feelings anymore.
No, not at all. I said this last week. I'd rather the Mavs win a random November game against the Houston Rockets than the Cowboys win. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah. Cooper Flagg had a pretty good first half. 5 of 6 from the field, 3 rebounds, couple of assists, couple of turnovers though, but in 17 minutes. Second half, 0 of 3 from the field, and one of the field goal attempts was the like heave that he had to throw at the end of the shot clock that he got blocked in the last 30 seconds. 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 turnovers in 17 minutes, like barely touched the ball in the second half. And you brought it up. We talked about this yesterday, that if you are watching Cooper Flagg right now and are going, why is this the guy that we are putting our hope in? Is this the guy that all of everybody was freaking out about, that you guys were hyping up? The Mavs are doing a complete disservice to Cooper Flagg.
Yes,
They're doing a complete disservice to him because they are not starting a point guard. Again, Max Christie, Klay Thompson starting the backcourt, I guess with Cooper Flagg as the point guard, quote unquote. They're doing that. They're running this new offense that it doesn't seem like the rest of the team even like is doing well at all. Another game with 101 offensive rating, which is awful. That's the 11th percentile. How many games have the Mavs had this season where they've just looked completely inept on offense? And some of that is because
all of them
missing players, but all of them except the Raptors game. Literally, here are the Mavs.
That's the Raptors.
Here are the Mavs offensive ratings: 94, 100, 127. That's the Raptors game. 97, 102, 110, and then this one 102. Like those are
one of their better games. Then
these are all in the like under 10th percentile of offense. Like it is not working. Like I don't care what they're trying to do. It is just not working at this point. And maybe it's personnel, but I also think that they're not starting guards. And then with they're not starting guards, we broke this down yesterday. Cooper Flagg is literally getting guarded by both the Thompson twins, Lou Dort, Case and Wallace, Stephon Castle, like some of the best defenders in the NBA because of that one move, I think. And Jason Kidd is trying to make Cooper Flagg uncomfortable. He's been clear about that. He's been trying to push him and push his development and make him a ball handler and make him some kind of playmaker, which I think is good for his development overall. But to push him to do this right out of the gate, I think is doing him a complete disservice. And you saw that in this game where, all right, well, if we don't do that, then this is what we do. We just throw him in the corner and he just stands over there and doesn't really do anything because the rest of the offense is still trying to figure out what they're doing. And he doesn't get involved at all. And the Mavs have no way of getting him involved in this offense if they don't do what we said earlier, that is doing a disservice. So if they're not doing a disservice to him, they're doing a disservice to him by not having a plan otherwise, which is just brutal all over the place for this. And that's why this this game from Cooper Flagg, I was encouraged by some other things the Mavs did, but I was not encouraged by the usage of Cooper Flagg in any way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand. I just go all over the map with what I think this team's trying to do and accomplish. There are times where it's like, okay, if you're thrusting Cooper Flagg into this point guard role immediately, then part of me thinks, all right, then they're just like focused on Flagg's development, and that's really all they care about. Because I don't know how you could think that that's what helps you win games right out the gate, right? But then I watch the games and I do not feel like that's the case really either. Because, like you said, he'll have entire halves like tonight where he just goes and stands in the corner and nothing gets ran for him. And I do feel like this has kind of affected his psyche a little bit. I don't think he's looking for a shot. I think part of the problem here is like starting him out like this. You know, you never got to a spot where you could play with the guard and kind of figure out on the fly, like, okay, I like getting the ball here. I like having this. This is my spot, like right here on the right wing or something. I like catching the ball here. I like shooting from here. I like being able to attack. I like being able to go off the triple thread here. I like cutting from this angle. Like he hasn't had any opportunity at all to just figure out, okay, I know where I like to attack on the floor. So now you kind of see this, you know, aggressive at times. And then it does feel like he's aggressive in the first quarter, comes out, plays a really strong 10 minutes, some of his best 10 minutes of the season so far. To be fair, checks back in, has a collision, you know, that shoulder that's been bothering him for a few games now. You know, I don't know how much of a problem that is for him. It could be bothering him. But then it just feels like immediately, you know, he takes like 4 shots the rest of the game. The ball barely finds him. Yeah. And now he's completely out of a rhythm. I don't really know. It's, you know, it's just 18 years old, you know, like that's what we keep coming back to. Maybe we oversold. We were oversold, and then we ourselves oversold just how NBA ready he was, you know. But I do feel like he's just still not. They're not doing right by him. They're putting him in like an impossible position right away.
Well, I think he's still being impactful. That's the thing. It's like I still think he is making an impact in some way, right? Yeah, he makes the right decisions. Kid still has him out there at the end of games for defense, because I think his defense has been solid too. And he, you know, put up 12 points, 5 boards, 2 assists. It's like, okay, he's at least doing something out there. But he has not been, like you said, like we had hoped that he would be a top 100 player in the NBA. And maybe he could still get there by the end of the season, but I think that the Mavs have just set him off on this path that is just not helping him get to that point at all. And so, like you said, like you started, they're not developing him, and they're also not winning. Like, okay, you're doing neither of the things that you could have done this season. And
maybe this will be good for him long term.
Which part?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the part that I just don't get. Is like, if Kid is trying to develop him, and he's saying, all right, well, we're trying to do this to Cooper Flagg so that it didn't Kid say recently, like, okay, so then in April we'll be ready for stuff like this. And you're like, in April he'll be ready to do what? He's not running it's not like he's running pick and rolls. He's not even really running the offense even. Like, I just don't know what they're trying to prepare him for.
That is the weird thing too, is he's not getting any, like, maybe he's getting 3 reps a game where he's like the pick and roll ball handler. But the thing but
this offense doesn't run pick and rolls.
Yeah, I know. But like, also another thing too is how many times have I seen Cooper Flagg set an on-ball screen? Next to none. Like
I was waiting for that in the fourth quarter when they put him back in, and then they had D'Angelo Russell out there. I was like, all right, here's the shot. Use Cooper Flagg in this way, and they're just like, no.
Well, here's the thing. Like Flagg or Kid after the game says that, you know, the reason why Flagg didn't get a lot of shots in the second half was because PJ was playing well. And it's like, well, you can still use Flagg as a screener, as, you know, anything to just kind of get him going too. Like, you know, I think it goes both ways. Like, I think Flagg needs to be a little bit more aggressive, but I think he's also, he needs a moment. Like, he needs just like okay, we've had it a few times here and there, but like, if they're going to lose anyways, and there's probably more losing to come, then there needs to be just like a game where it's like, you know what, Flagg, you're shooting 25 times tonight. Like, that's it. Our goal tonight is to set you up. Our goal tonight is to get you in a rhythm, get you comfortable, and that's what we're going to do.
Could have been these last 2 games with Anthony Davis out, and you're like, okay, 80's out, Lively's out. Let's just get him some shots tonight. Except the last 2 games, he's been guarded by Asar Thompson and Amen Thompson, are the 2 best athletes in the universe, and one of the best, like the 2 of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, I mean,
That's his opportunity.
It's also the one way to look at it. Somebody brought this up, and it is true. Like, this will probably be the hardest it will ever be for Cooper Flagg. So that is one way to look at it.
Worst he'll ever be in the NBA.
Probably, hopefully, but just in terms of like him being 18, fresh into the league, the team that he's surrounded by is just in this weird flux state currently, and you're being guarded by the other team's best perimeter defenders every night. On top of that, you've played like 4 of the best ones on the planet in your first 7 games.
Yeah.
So that also makes it difficult.
It's tough going for him. I thought he did some good things. I thought that the Mavs are doing him a disservice, though. And we've talked about that yesterday. We broke it down today. You saw it in this game if you watched it. Just that exactly. Coming up, Daniel Gafford, I thought was great. Showed some grit, some toughness. The Mavs need that. We'll talk about him and Max Christie, another really great game coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, all kinds of things to get into the NBA season. There's no better way to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Go check out all the different kinds of things you can do. We're looking at the Rookie of the Year, and Cooper Flagg is still the favorite. Minus 110 for Rookie of the Year. I think that was minus 200 earlier this offseason. VJ Edgecombe, plus 130. He's averaging like 20 points a game right now. VJ Edgecombe looks like the real deal over there in Philly. And that is the one that he is creeping up on Cooper Flagg right now. When he passes him, that will be a day on these odds right here. Con Knibble plus 2,000. Trey Johnson plus 3,000. Cedric Coward from Memphis plus 3,000. Dylan Harper, who just has that calf injury, plus 4,000. All kinds of things you can do on FanDuel, though, not just NBA, all kinds of other things. If you feel confident about something you think absolutely is going to happen, and you're a new customer, put down $5 on that first bet, and you can get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app wherever you want. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play it with FanDuel right now, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Slightly. Mavs lose to the Rockets. PJ Washington leads the team and is pretty awesome. Cooper Flagg has a pretty good half and then a half that he's just not there, it seemed like. Mavs are doing him a disservice. And then Daniel Gafford plays in this game. And before the game, Jason Kidd dropped a little, hey, he's still going to be on a minutes restriction, 15 to 18 minutes. And so I said, okay, same thing as the Pistons game. He looked a little winded in that game. Looked like he was a little bit struggling. Makes sense that they'd keep him on a minutes restriction. He ends up playing 25 minutes.
Yeah,
in this game, because the Rockets are playing big. They play big a lot. They play Şengün and they play Capella and with Steven Adams a lot. It seems like you get. I did this stat before the game today that Şengün has played 204 of his 362 possessions with either Steven Adams or Clint Capella this season. That's like a pretty big percentage of his minutes, and it was a lot tonight too. And so they needed some bigs. Moussa Cisse played early in this one. We'll talk about that. But Daniel Gafford, they needed him. He played just about 25 minutes, 14 points, 3 offensive rebounds. The Mavs needed those offensive rebounds because they're the worst offensive rebounding team. The Rockets were the best offensive rebounding team coming into this game. And he had 3 blocks too, a couple of steals. He had an assist, 7 of 9 from the field. They needed his finishing. They needed his just like girth in the paint. They needed that in a big way, and I thought he gritted out this game. I hope he didn't get re-injured because it looked like he was limping up and down. He went to the locker room at one point. He was on the bike at the end of the game. We thought he was done, and then he comes back in with a minute 30 left or something like that, or about 3 minutes left. What did you see from Daniel Gafford?
Yeah, I mean, they desperately needed his size, like you said. Like they did a pretty good job. This Rockets team is surprisingly, they've been the best offense in the league to start this year. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they rebound nearly half of their misses. That's not me misspeaking. They rebound nearly they rebound nearly half of their misses, and they're very good and efficient on putbacks. But the Mavs actually did a pretty good job tonight at limiting the amount of points they scored off of those putbacks. So I think part of that is a credit to Gafford, right? And just kind of the Mavs defense in general, which again, I kind of think has been pretty solid to start this year. Like, I really do think their defense has been good. Unfortunately, what was the one thing we said all off season? That this defense needed to be like top 3 because the offense wasn't going to be good enough. And that was assuming the offense was going to be league average, not dead last, league average. So far we haven't gotten that. But yeah, Gafford being back is huge. Just because they just need some size so bad. And yeah, hopefully he was limping. I feel like he had 4 different things going on at a certain point. So hopefully he's ready to go in a couple nights.
Yeah. But I thought Gafford gritted through this. He gritted through this game, showed some toughness. They needed his finishing really, really bad. It was good to see Gafford get in there. It's good to see him back. They just need bodies, honestly, at this point, like big bodies. At this point, you'll just take him. Speaking of big bodies, Moussa Cisse plays 14 minutes, gets a couple alley-oops, including one early, and that was good to see. He was big. He had 2 offensive rebounds as well, which was huge. The Mavs needed those. Like we mentioned, the same thing with Gafford. He's just like springy, and he will run. Like he ran the hardest down the court of anybody in the game tonight. When sometimes he would get up and I would watch him run. Like, oh, he is running at full speed right now down the court, which is exactly what they need. They need a little spark plug, especially as a big body right now.
Yeah, he gave him some solid energy off the bench. That was the first run he's gotten all year, right? Or has he gotten some garbage time minutes? No. So first NBA action, right? He's a rookie, correct?
I think he's gotten some garbage time action, but he hasn't scored. That was his first time scoring.
Okay. So yeah, he gave him some solid energy. And again, in the matchup like this, especially with Gafford kind of dealing with a minute restriction 1 and then a couple of different flare-ups over the course of the game, desperately needed some size. And Moussa gave you some solid effort, some solid hustle, some size.
He did. Max Christie gave you some playmaking that the Mavs really needed. 17 points, 6 assists, hit 3 threes, and he had some drives too that were just absolutely awesome. Some playmaking to start the game. Pick and roll with Daniel Gafford and finished over Şengün, which I thought was a great move. Another drive finished around Steven Adams in that first quarter. I thought he just did some really, really good things in this game.
Yeah, Christie and PJ have been the 2 bright spots of the team so far this season. They look like very high-end rotation players, like role players in the NBA. So hopefully when this team figures out whatever it is that they need to figure out between now and maybe even next season, they're in the equation for sure.
Yeah, keep those guys around. Those are guys worth keeping, but they also have value. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. D'Angelo Russell, he 10 points, 12 assists, 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Only had 2 turnovers in this game, but like you said, it was kind of one of those. They needed him desperately in this game, and they needed his playmaking really bad. At the end of the game, he had some pretty tough moments, but they wouldn't be in this game without him.
Yeah, it's that's the D'Lo experience. I feel like so far this season, he's had a couple moments where it's like, what was that shot you just took? I'm trying to think, what game was that? Was that the Wizards game where he took that deep 3 with like 30 seconds left and front ironed it, or was that the Thunder game? Either way,
Thunder game. It was a Thunder game,
right? But they're not even in that if it's not for D'Lo.
It's true.
I mean, it's kind of what I said. They've put themselves in a position where they have to live or die with whatever happens with him, because they don't really have another option at this point in time. So, yeah, I mean, the offense does just look better when he's out there. He sets guys up. I mean, he had 12 assists in tonight's game. Like, he does set up guys. I like the way he controls a fast break. I guess you just have to live with bad. I mean, what is he shooting from the field so far this year? Like, he's 2 of 10 tonight. I mean, it's got to be ugly. Even with like a good game a couple nights ago.
Okay, NBA.com has the 7 games already updated. I'm going to give you over under 38.5.
Definitely under.
36.7.
Yeah. So I guess you can look at it if you want to be positive and say, well, it's clear that D'Lo's made a positive impact on this team offensively, and he's not hitting shots right now.
Who's shooting better from the field, Russell Westbrook or D'Angelo Russell right now?
Well, Russ hasn't been half bad.
Russ is shooting 39% from the field.
It's
actually,
not half
37%
bad.
From 3, Russell Westbrook.
No, I know. He hasn't been half bad.
It just, a lot of it, this just doesn't make any sense. I thought they played admirably against this Rockets team. I thought they'd get destroyed, and they didn't. They played real tough with them.
I mean, let's be real. This is as depressing. Like we can sugarcoat it. Like we're in game 7 and it's already like, yeah, they fought hard and they're 2-5 now. Like it's about as worst case scenario as imaginable.
They're missing 2 all-stars.
Right. Well, you're already out. We knew Kyrie was going to be out, but you're already out AD. Who knows how long he's out? Dereck Lively, who knows how long he's out? That's my number one concern for this team. Like the number one thing I've seen through 7 games where I'm like, I don't know, guys, what to make of this Dereck Lively thing at all. No clue. They needed a healthy season from him, and we're 5 games in. And a knee sprain is like, he didn't travel with the team. That could be weeks long. Weeks long.
Yeah, depending on severity, and it was initially reported as a contusion.
I know.
So like, are we doing this again with Lively, where it's one injury and now all of a sudden it's a different one? Like that frustrates me too. Where you go, okay, well, what is it?
Or maybe if I'm gonna throw him some bail, because that happened towards the very end of that long homestand. If I'll throw him some bail, I'll be like, okay, we put it as a knee contusion. Maybe there's a little sprain. Like, let's just be safe with D-Live and don't travel with the team. Like, just stay back. But yeah, I mean, 7 games in, you're already injured. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Not just injured, like 5 games out. Like, it's been over a week.
Yeah, I know. And call a spade a spade. You know, the Coop thing has been, I don't want to say frustrating, because I haven't seen anything from him where I'm like scared long term, right? But it's not as good as maybe we were hoping it would be short term, and that's for a ton of different reasons.
Yeah, well, we laid out all the reasons before, but he has not like lit the world on fire where you go, oh, this covers up everything else. Doesn't matter. Let's just watch Cooper Flagg cook. Let's just watch him develop in the NBA, because they're not doing that right now with him. Like, they're not even helping him develop even.
I know.
We're not even getting to see that.
I'm just very confused as to what the plan is, because I mean, I don't understand I'm going to start a guy and then not play him again the rest of the game. Is that not more demoralizing than benching a guy? Yeah.
Yeah, Klay plays 18 minutes.
Is that not more of a slap in the face to be like, we'll start you, but you're playing so terribly that once you sub out, you're done?
Klay played 8.5 minutes the second half. So he only played 10 minutes the first half.
I know. He's barely playing right now. Why not just bring him off the bench? I don't.
Klay did play some good defense, though.
Yeah, the team's not bad defensively. They're really not.
They've only had a couple of bad defensive games, and one of them was the Raptors game that they won.
I need you guys to understand it's hard to play consistently good defense when you're not scoring points and teams are running up and down the floor. And honestly, I'll have to look at the numbers. It feels like they've done better at not turning the ball over the last few games too. Like, and still not good, but they've done at least somewhat better at controlling turnovers. And that's helped them out, right? But still not great.
Lots of questions, lots of things. We'll have you covered. Mavs, another post game on Wednesday. We'll be back here for that one against the Pelicans. We'll have another show for you tomorrow.
Don't
what?
Don't even think about it, guys.
The Pelicans, they're 0-6 right now, right?
They're 0-6, and they've had the first team in history to have 3 30-point losses their first 6 games. Please, guys. And I sense it. I do. You can't.
Go check out Slightly Biased YouTube channel. Great stuff all the time over there. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
If you lose that game,
boom.
I went to AP, spent $200K. They sold me the Frost rainbow face. Do the math on that.